7 names, no games as I run it down the line. We got Kenny Ken, put 100 on the tees with the streak for the cash. He ESPN. Seth Curry with the shot. The prodigy. In reality, he's more like Seth, but he's all we got. Up next is Gentleman Jack, better known as Junior Blue. We told him not to do it anyway, but he did what he do. To his right is Devin, that dude, Eldad or Dirt Ass Dan. Just don't ask him a question, cause then he'll answer your question with another question, and then he'll add another question on top of that question. Damn. And I'm Red O, the Buck Wild Problem Child.
Flow Butter, aka John Cutter.
It's the league ambassadors, and we playing to win. At the 2-yard line, and make no mistake, we running it in. Pete Carroll, we see you.
Thank you for visiting 32 Kings Road, hosted by the league ambassadors. I'm Ambassador Kenny Ken, and it is my pleasure to be here today with my brothers. This is episode 34, season 2 of our show. And today we've got a special visitor in the building. Our ambassador, Coach Joe. He's special. He's in the building.
Yellow bus special.
What up? To go over some football 101 with us. As a reminder, you can follow us everywhere on social media. Our handles are at The League AM. Please visit our website, theleagueam.com, our YouTube channel, League Ambassadors. Shout out to Chief Diplomat Nick Blackman, who's holding down Diplomatic Immunity, which is a blog spot that we have on our website. If you got something to say as a fan, please visit our website, submit an entry. We will post it and pub it. Let's get this show going. Kev, what you sipping on, brother?
Fellas. Good to be on tonight. I'm not sipping on anything tonight, actually, because I drank it all Tuesday night. I'm going cold turkey. I'm actually sipping on 2 things tonight, if you guys will allow me. Since my brother isn't here, I'll hold down the fort. First and foremost, who the hell decided that the Miami Dolphins deserve 3 straight primetime games? Because that's been a struggle to watch them. And the second thing, a little more on a serious note, the research that was released from the examination of Aaron Hernandez's brain showed that he had the most severe case of CTE that they've seen in anybody at that age. And not to excuse anything he did, but I think if there's a correlation between the injuries sustained from football and increased, violent behavior, the NFL is in some deep doo-doo.
Yeah, they were also saying to that point that apparently, I guess his brain was predisposed to have like significant brain trauma, which means, I hate to say it, but he wasn't born with a full deck to begin with. Redo, what you sipping on, baby?
I've actually changed my sipping on. I was gonna sip on the term kiffined and how I hope John Fox needs to get kiffined at the nearest airport. But since Devin, a.k.a. Dad, ain't here, I was watching a movie on HBO like at midnight. And The Count in Monte Cristo came on from 2002. And I didn't realize he was an actor. I did not realize our fellow league ambassador was an actor. He had a role in the movie, and his name was Jacopo. Hi, Jacopo.
That's wrong. That's wrong.
And he's not here to defend himself. What it do, Jacopo?
He's never missing another show.
That's wrong.
Ever.
Hey, but it's right. Matter of fact, Jacopa. Google Jacopo if you don't know what I'm talking about.
Oh, my
God. Y'all ain't gonna do my brother like that. Nah, man.
What you gonna do from Baltimore?
Coach Joe, what you sipping on, baby?
I'm sipping on that middle child syndrome.
Oh, shit.
The middle. Oh, what are you talking about?
Jello. That's who I'm talking about. Middle child.
Oh my God.
I don't know how many of y'all. I have older siblings and younger siblings. And I was a middle child, and growing up, I had to fend for myself, and that's exactly what Jello is doing. He's fending for himself. Forget about the cash his older brother got. and the love his dad has for the little brother, he's fending for himself. Middle child syndrome.
He was gonna make some kind of headline.
All right. We was a late, meaningless touchdown by the New York Giants away from being 3-0 last week. We gonna get it this week though. We've got Jacksonville and Cleveland. Jacksonville's a 7.5-point favorite. Tease that line down 7 and take Jacksonville to win.
It's getting cold, Kenyon. You're going to get them right.
It's getting real. Fuck. Then we've got the Saints going against Washington. Washington on the road. Again, the Saints, 7.5-point favorite. Tease that line down to 0.5 point. Take New Orleans to win. So we got Jacksonville over Cleveland, New Orleans. And then finally, Detroit versus Chicago. The line is 41. The game line is 41. Tease that up 7 to 48 and take the under. Chicago, underrated defensive team. Detroit gets a lot of turnovers. Look for the under to come in. So that's Jacksonville to win, 0.5 point. New Orleans at home to win, 0.5 point. And then we take the under, Detroit, Chicago. Because it's been so cold, put $500 down, make it all up, and thank the league ambassadors.
How about you split the difference? Put $250. Be safe.
Les, Junior Blue, what you sipping on, baby?
Well, I'm sipping on this Ciroc to start off with.
In the 32 Kings Road Cup.
32 Kings Road Cup, you know.
Coming to theleagueam.com real soon.
And I'm sipping on a surprise. Beginning of the season, we would have never figured that the LA Rams would lead the NFC West with a 7-2 record. The team is number 1 scoring offense, number 3 scoring defense. They lost 2 games by 7 points or less to Washington and Seattle. Their wins have come against Indy, San Fran, Dallas, Jacksonville, Arizona, and the Giants, and then the Texans. My question is, with the remaining schedule of at the Vikings, which is a big game, against another 7-2 team this week, the Saints, at Cardinals, Eagles, at the Seahawks and Titans, and at the 49ers, what do you guys think their final record will be? I mean, they have
Write down the teams again. Who's left?
At Vikings this week. Then you have the Saints, at the Cardinals, the Eagles, at the Seahawks, at the Titans, and then the 49ers to wrap it up. 7 games left.
I think they win 10. I think they go 10-6.
Okay,
So that puts me at 3-4 down the stretch. This is definitely, to your point, this is a defining stretch. We will find out who they are. I've got them at 10 wins.
Watch this. They are either 10-6 or 11-5.
Somewhere in between.
Somewhere in between.
He's done this before, folks. He's done this before. So are you saying that they're a pretender or contender for the Super Bowl?
Oh, I mean, me personally, I think that they're a pretender almost for the same reasons why I said last week, talked about Philadelphia. Again, a young, unproven quarterback. Their defense has gotten better. They definitely missed Aaron Donald at the start of the season. Wade Phillips has progressively, they've gotten better on the defensive end, and they are getting better. I think overall Philadelphia probably has a better defense than the Rams at this point. So no, I wouldn't take them seriously as a Super Bowl contender, but I mean, considering where they started, where they were last year, they're definitely a team on the rise. On the way with McVay is an apt nickname. They are definitely on the way.
The one thing about this season, though, is pretending like we know who's gonna be anywhere is folly. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'll give them. I'll go on Omar's bar. I'll give them 11-5. I think they're a pretender, and I only say that because I just can't give anybody the contending for a Super Bowl title until we've seen it from them before. And for the Rams, all this is just new for us. I mean, like you said, McVay, the youngest coach in football. Jared Goff is playing way beyond what we thought he would do at this point, given what we saw last year. They got the running game, the defense, which you said Keon did struggle, but I think they're, third in points per game?
Right.
So they definitely have the formula to be a Super Bowl team, but I think it's going to take them another year or two before they actually get there. I
mean, I really think they had a light schedule to begin the season to go 7-2, and hey, these last 7 games is not going to be any kind of joke.
Absolutely, and that's half the battle is winning the games you're supposed to win, which to their credit they've been able to do.
Yeah, I mean they're winning the home games. They're not packing the stadiums, but they're winning the home games.
Hey, that was actually another. That's another question I have. So keep going.
Yeah, now the running game is coming along. 30 is coming off of his sophomore slump. And he's doing what he's supposed to be doing.
There's a coach on the show when instead of calling out somebody's name, he calling out jersey numbers.
30's doing what he's supposed to do.
Right.
And
to piggyback on that, man, it's next year if they progress, I'm looking at them to run that division. So
yeah,
well, the defense, not to cut you off, but the defense was good last year. Their offense just was
horrendous.
Trash.
I mean, they couldn't pass. They couldn't pass the 30-yard line, and the turnovers was what a -6. So.
Yeah.
And it took Gurley a year to get used to the Los Angeles market.
That offense was just. It was absolutely atrocious.
But LA is something that he might have to.
You remember we was watching that Carl Street commercial, and I was like,
I wouldn't say that because he's a California kid. I'm pretty sure he's been to LA a couple times. Remember, he played at Cal.
Todd Gurley didn't play at Cal.
I'm talking about the quarterback.
No, we were talking about Todd Gurley.
Oh yeah, Todd Gurley. Yeah,
30. We were talking about 30.
30. Yeah.
So Coach Joe brought it up. So the Coliseum holds 93,000 people. Mm-hmm. The LA Rams actually only make 66,000 tickets available to consider a sellout, and they're not doing that. A team that's first in the division, 7-2 record, high scoring offense. What will it take to sell out 66,000 tickets?
A long run in the playoffs.
Yes. That's part of it. We talked about this even last year, though. Yeah. The city of LA is a city of transplants. A lot of folks come here with their own. They have their own team that they support. I think that has a lot to do with it. But then also, to Omar's point, it's not just about winning, being 7-2. I mean, how many times have we seen a team go 7-2, 8-1, and then shit the bed the rest of the season, and they finish at 500 or a little bit below 500? A playoff, I'd say a playoff victory would be a huge step.
Do they sell out a home playoff game?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. The reason why they're not selling out now is because they shit the bed last year. So they had a chance to grab the people of LA. Yeah. And the games were horrendous to watch.
You only get one chance to make a first impression.
They're still making, some wagons for people to get on too, so. Bandwagon.
Hey, I don't know what it's gonna take, but it looked depressing in that crowd. Some of the pictures, it just doesn't look right.
But you know what? Last week, it was last week they played home, right?
Right.
They were talking about how, because people were saying like the pictures and this and that, but they were like in the stadium, it was rocking.
Second half.
Oh well, hey, it still was.
Second half is when
That's good of the traffic.
It was like 9-7.
They didn't get to the game until second half. That's why it's empty. Shit.
All right. Well, let's get to football 101. We thought it would be a good idea. Coach Joe is a league ambassador. This year, though, represented his first year as the head football coach. He has his own program. At St. Bernard's High School, which is a local Catholic high school here in the Los Angeles area.
Go Vikings!
Of which Junior Blue is an alum of that school. And so he hasn't had as much time to do the show, but we thought it'd be a good idea for him to come in. And what we actually did was we took the games that happened last week, and we just came up with some questions that, as fans, we want to know, because it makes sense to us in our head, or maybe it doesn't make sense to us in our head. And so having a coach at our disposal, we felt like it'd be a good opportunity just to kind of throw some questions at him and get sort of a different perspective. But before we do that, Coach Joe, how was your first season?
If you don't watch the video, you just heard the breathing, it's not enough.
Let everyone tell it. It was a successful season, but me personally, 4-6 is not where I wanted to be. That's where we ended up. We ended up at 4-6.
Mm-hmm.
Out of the 6 games that we lost, about 4 of them we lost literally by 3 points, 2 points, 6 points. So we're talking about a program though that has probably won. They went 1-8, 1-9 the year before, and
Last season they went 9-9.
1-9 before the last season, and the year before that I think they won 2 games.
Okay.
So they've been in a slump since 2011. So we have some promising young talent there, and we're ready to go. We're starting actually next week again.
What would you say is the biggest lesson that you learned in your first years being in the big chair?
You name it.
I learned a lot. I'm gonna be honest with you. I've been an assistant head coach for a long time for 2 different programs, and knowing that the head guy always has the final say, to be in a game, especially close games this year, and turn to the left and the right, and knowing that everyone's looking at you to make the call.
Yeah.
That's a big change. And
Tight booty cheek time.
Yeah. It's on you. It's on you, boss. What we doing? But like I said, I've learned a lot this year, know, and I'm super excited to get started for next year already because of what I've learned.
Good.
Respectively, as far as dealing with your own coaches and dealing with players and dealing with administration at the school. So, yeah, I'm excited.
Good deal. Kev, you want to get the football 101 started with your question?
Take it easy on me, Kev.
Well, first up, Joe, I am proud of you, man. I was there with you when you was trying to make that happen over here on the East Coast. So good to see you make it to where you are now. But we about to test your gangster. See what you know about the NFL. So one thing I wanted to bring up was the Saints offense, which we've always heralded as a high-scoring, high-flying, high-yardage, high-volume offense. But one thing that I noticed over the last couple of weeks is to complement their deep passing game, they often get the ball in the hands of their running back. You can look back to how they ran Reggie Bush. They would not necessarily throw it out to the flat, but they would run their running backs along the left and right tackles and then out in space. So I would ask you, as a coach with a defensive background, would you prefer to play against an offense where the running backs went out into the flat as opposed to cutting up the middle of the field and beating your linebackers in space? And if so, how would you defend that? Like, do you give up something when you put a DB in the box to play him as opposed to a linebacker?
Well, are you talking about the routes only or as far as the RPO?
I'm not going to pretend I know what RPO is.
Okay,
run pass option.
Yeah, so
So if you're a defensive coach and you're playing against a team that often runs their running backs upfield and out in space, my question is, do you prefer them to go towards the sideline, or is it a worse threat if you're sticking a running back across the middle of the field? Because as a linebacker, you're slower, but as a DB, you're smaller. So how do you combat that?
Well, it all depends, because you first and foremost you gotta know what your personnel is. So a lot of coaches try to over scheme everything, and me personally, is all about your Timmies and Joes. So it's who you have. If you have a backer that can cover a small back or a big back, then it doesn't really matter what you run. If you got a backer that's an inside linebacker that is heavier, that's 260, 270, and can't run, then of course you want to bring a dime package or a nickel package in for that particular game. But a lot of teams now are running the RPOs, the run pass option. So whereas though they look like they're running the ball, and then quarterback pulls it, and now he's running, but there's an option outside to still pass the ball at the same time while he's running. That's really difficult to cover. You once again, it's all about your personnel. You study Sundays at the high school level, Fridays at the college level is Saturdays. Those are fun days. Those are the days you go out there and you just say, hey, we've been working on this for the last 6 days. Let's execute. Mm-hmm. If you're still trying to make adjustments in the game, you're a little too late. You're probably going to get scored on 2, 3, 4 times. So you supposed to make the adjustments, okay, throughout the week. Hey, if they do this, we're going to do this. And then when they catch on that we're doing this, they're going to do this. So then we do this. It's a chess game.
Equivocal.
Gotcha.
Is there to Kevin's point, like, is there a preference though in terms of, do you want to try to funnel or reroute that backer, say, to the middle of the field, or are you comfortable with that backer releasing to the outside?
Well, me, I'm a man person. You know, like I said, it depends what you're running. Depends on your personnel.
But running man.
I'm running man.
So make a play. Your job is to make the play.
Your job is to make that play. Guess what? If you can't make that play, come here.
Number 25. 25.
Stand next to coach.
You know, that's just what it is. I mean, these guys are getting paid millions and millions of dollars, so they should know what they have to do. But, you know, you still got guys out there getting toasted and roasted.
Redo?
Okay, so I'm going to preface my question with the fact that after the Bear game, I was introduced to Uncle Jamie, and I didn't watch any other games because Jameson is real, and I was depressed.
And I didn't watch the Bears games.
So, besides the fact that I need my head coach to be kiffened, really. So, simple question. What advantage does it give you as a defensive coordinator to know that a team runs it 60% of the time on first down and 50% of the time on second down, and they throw it 90% of the time on third down?
What advantage does that give you?
Yes.
Gives you a big ass advantage.
Right?
Thank you. You know, I mean, 60% of the time, you know, first and second down, they're going to run it. You're just stacking the box. You're actually taking away the run. And then,
and if they run it anyway?
If they run it anyway,
thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, just checking.
And that's what the game planning is for. You know, I'm stacking my box to tell you, guess what? Don't run it.
Yeah.
And if you run it, hey, that's like when your parents say, "Hey, don't mess with that. That's fire. You get burned." And you still touch it, and then you get burned.
I think my whole point is, like, as a head coach, that seems simple, right?
Yeah.
It's like something you shouldn't do.
Look, a lot of us in this game overcoach.
I got a
That's
question,
just
though.
what it is.
But is that overcoaching or are you undercoaching? As the head coach, aren't you saying, shouldn't you be saying to your offensive coordinator, look here, buddy? It's a tell.
Don't some coaches look at it like, if we run the play and you do your job, we should get our 4 or 5 yards?
Yeah, of course.
And that's what happens.
But, and that's what I mean by it's both. It's overcoaching and undercoaching, because I know there's other people telling them, "Hey, no, don't do this, do that. We got to do this," and he's sticking with his guns. And no, we've been doing this all week. We've been doing this all year. We're gonna be running the ball. We're gonna be on first down, and guess what? We're gonna run it on second down, and guess what? We're gonna run it on third down. But guess why they're running it on third down? Because they're behind the chains.
They're gonna pass on third.
You mean pass on third down?
Yeah,
exactly, because they're behind the chains.
They're behind the chains.
90% of the time.
Yeah.
90% of the time.
Yeah. So and on third down, guess what I'm running? Cover 4.
Yeah.
Cover 3.
Yeah.
And I'm bringing in a dime package.
Because they have to throw.
You have to throw.
So you've mentioned it twice. Can you explain the difference between a nickel package and a dime package?
So it's real simple. Nickel is 5 DBs.
Yep.
And the dime package is just having one backer in the inside, and everyone around in the secondary in the middle is pretty much DBs, defensive backs.
Junior Blue?
All right, so I was watching the Washington-Minnesota game, and Josh Norman makes a lot of money. He makes a whole lot of money.
Whole lot.
Shit.
Stephon Diggs wore him out while in man coverage. So I just want to know the rules of man coverage, because Josh Norman needs this clip personally delivered to him.
Well, if we all remembered when he left Carolina ran a lot of zone package.
Yeah, they did.
And he got exposed in camp when he got to the Redskins. So he's still learning how to be a man coverage DB.
Except for when he plays the Cowboys.
Well, he has one job.
When he plays the guys, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. To play, well, so to answer your question, how do you explain to him how to play man defense? You take away the inside leverage, okay? You bump and gun, and you're saying, guess what? You're not getting a slant on me. Because that's one of the deadliest weapons when you're in the game. I mean routes. I'm sorry, that's one of the deadliest routes in the game. Is that slant? You're off 6 to 7 yards, 8 yards. A receiver gets a quick slant, boom, that's automatic 4 to 5 yards. And don't miss the tackle because it could turn into 20, 30.
Yep.
So you want to take away the slant, in my opinion. You want to take away the slant, and you want to press him outside and see what type of arm that quarterback has.
And what he got caught with was they did it out and up, and he was looking dead into the backfield.
Yeah, and that's number 2. Rule number 2: keep your eyes on the receiver, and keep your hand in his pocket. That's what I teach. Keep your hand in his pocket. What I mean by keep your hand in his pocket, as you press him into the sideline, which the sideline is our friend.
That's right.
Right?
Because if they get out of bounds,
hey, can't come
They out
back
to
in.
play.
Yeah.
You're out to play. So you're pressing him to the sideline, so your hand presses him to that sideline, and it should go from the shoulder to the hip, and that's his pocket. So now you're feeling him run down the field as you run, and you're looking at him. You know, and the telltale is, and only the best receivers can do it. They can actually turn around at that drop of the dime
feel the ball
and
is there.
just catch it right there. But 9 out of 10 of them are turning after a couple seconds to find the ball to see where they're at. So as soon as they
Eyes get
turn, their
wide.
eyes get wide, they give you this look. They're here and they go, yeah, that means they're about to catch the ball. You just turn around, put a hand up, give them a little shove in that hip, throw them off the side. And another thing I tell my linebackers, and I tell my defense, period, if they have more than 4 seconds to throw the ball, we're not doing our job. So as a DB, you're 1 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000. You should be peeking over to see if the ball's there. But keep that hand in that back pocket.
in the staying with that game, Washington, Minnesota also happened in the Green Bay, Chicago game, which we will talk about a little bit later. There, and we've seen this before in other places, a receiver or a running back maybe making a dive for the end zone, going in, getting ready to score the touchdown, and they dive to cross the pylon, lose control of the ball, goes out of bounds. The rule is that's a touchback, ball goes to the defense. Number one, why is that the rule? And number two, how do you feel? Because I think to us as fans, it feels a little unfair. Like the offense has done all the work necessary. They're trying to make the extra play. In the field of play, if that happens, if it's a fumble out of bounds, the offense maintains possession. Why is it that that rule all of a sudden changes once you get down to the end zone?
Well, it's one of the rules that I think a lot of coaches don't like. Mm-hmm. Me personally, I don't like the rule. But if I'm on the defensive side of the ball, I love the rule.
Right.
Because here it is. You bust your tail to get 80 yards down the field, and because you're trying to make this play as a running back, and you reach out and the ball is fumbled before it goes through before it breaks the plane.
Right.
That's your fault. If you fumble the ball and the ball goes out on the inch line, let's say the ball's on the 20-yard line,
Yep.
and he runs it, and he's about to go in, and he reaches out, and he fumbles it, and it goes out on the 1, it's still their ball. But if it fumbles and goes through, that's just you play poker. That's the luck of the draw. Oops, But that to answer your question, I mean that's just one of the things that you teach, that a lot of players, they try to make that extra play. Mm-hmm. Just get what you can get and get down. Let's run another play. Let's run another play. And that's the coach talking. The player, I'm trying to reach out.
Yeah.
And then it's his mama's fault or his daddy's fault for him having small hands.
Kev?
You did mention the quarterback option earlier, so I wanted to ask you about specifically the Tennessee Titans, who run the option with Mariota. They ran it well last week against Cincinnati. They aren't running it that well tonight against Pittsburgh. But what they did that worked was they had Mariota in the shotgun. He snapped the ball, faked the handoff, and then when he break outside, he would have the option, which is why it's called, to either keep it or flick it out to a running back. So, again, as
not
a defensive
flick it out,
coach,
but throw it out, right?
Whichever you prefer, we can throw it out. Out to a running back. But would you prefer, and of course in most cases you'd rather, hit the quarterback, but it
How do
killed
you attack
Cincinnati
it?
last week where they didn't they didn't keep outside contained. So I'm asking you, how would you attack that being an outside backer? How do you keep outside contained? How do you also defend the guy who's the better option to get the ball passed out to him?
Well, I remember that. I remember that play. It's one of those things where you know, all players. You have 11 players on the football field. Everyone has to do their job. Okay. If you biting on the give, which is the handoff, and the running back doesn't have it, and you go all the way smash down in, and you know your job is to have outside contained, guess what? You done fucked up. You know? So do your job. Now, to answer, how do I attack that? Me personally, it's all about personnel. So you know who you have on your team. You know who they have on their team. So you have a guy like the Tennessee Titan quarterback.
Marcus Mariota.
Okay, Marcus. He's proved to you from his Oregon days that he can run it. Yeah. He's proved to you that he can throw the deep ball. You know, he has nice touch on his ball. I'm attacking him. That's who I'm going after. I'm going after him. If you want to run the ball, guess what? You're going to get hit every time. I'm going to make sure that my 250-pound linebacker or outside backer or my 280-pound DN is saying, forget about the give. I'm smacking you if you're going to run that. If you're going to run that option, I'm smacking you until you're out of the game or until you stop running that play. Now, if you have what's the guy from Chargers?
San Diego, which, yep.
If you have him running the option,
Los Angeles,
let him run the option. He's not going anywhere. You know, what's his name?
Phillip Rivers.
Phillip Rivers.
Yeah.
Rivers wants to run it because they ran the option a couple
times. They did too, and
what
I was gonna ask you along those same lines is why, as an offense, would you even like with Mariota? I understand why that's in there. He's established himself as a runner. He has that talent, that sort of ability. But if you have an immobile quarterback, why is that play even in your playbook? Because no one believes that Phillip Rivers is going to take off and run.
So you have to have the play in your playbook because you're in the NFL. Okay, it's not Pop Warner. It's not high school. You have to have that play to keep everyone honest.
But no one's.
You got to keep them honest.
How are you keeping them honest?
When you're inside the red zone, you're inside that 5. Guess who's going to keep it?
Phillip Rivers is.
He's going to keep it, and he's going to go in there.
Phillip Rivers is never going to keep that.
He's going. I've watched him keep it.
But maybe that's why they run it.
Yeah, they run it. They run it because everyone knows. Okay, he's not going to keep it. He's not going to keep it. But it's the time in the fourth quarter with 2.5 minutes left that they run that same play, and all game long they've ran that. That's when that undisciplined DN smashes in, and he walks in the end zone with the ball. That's why you run it.
Interesting. Junior Blue.
Okay, another question we had. We were all fans of Hugh Jackson, I believe.
Yeah. I don't know. He was tested.
I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of Hugh.
Because he tested it on Sunday.
Yeah.
So it is the end of the first half. There's 15 seconds left. No timeouts left. Cleveland Browns are on the 2-yard line. They run a quarterback sneak with no timeouts left. It gets stopped at the 2 because it went nowhere. And then, of course, defensive linemen lay on the quarterback. Time runs out. They don't score any points.
And it was a pivotal moment because to that point they were.
It was a close.
They were winning.
Yeah, they were winning.
They were actually winning. This is a huge touchdown that now Detroit goes in at the half and is.
And then you see why they're winless.
Right.
So my question is, what was Hugh Jackson thinking at that time to say, "Oh, we're gonna catch him off guard with this one"?
What could he have possibly been thinking?
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here.
No, but when you watch it, you can clearly see it's not a. It's a difference.
It's not even a sneak situation.
It's not a short 2 yards.
Yeah.
It's a long 2 yards. You know, and once again, the defense was prepared.
So
they were ready.
I have a question. What if, because sometimes we see this, spread it out, 4 wide receivers, then you do the quarterback run up the middle. Would any of you guys have thought differently of that? Because it wasn't going to work. They really tried to run a for real.
Yeah, they had I think double tight 2 backs in there, and he just took it and just tried to and the DTs on the other side to just smash the ankles, and gave him no running room. And I think the backer came over And of course, they did what every smart defense player do is when I tackle you, guess what? Oh, I'm dead man. I can't get up.
Because they didn't get up for nothing.
I can't get up. You know, and they didn't understand. Like that's a team that's fallen and can't get up.
Yeah, but isn't that such an obvious sort of game scenario situation where it's like you don't have any timeouts? Forget the sneak call. Running the ball, period. This is why they pass the ball. Because if you run the ball and you aren't successful, we've all seen it where the defensive lineman or whoever the defensive player plays dead man, you burn the clock out. You don't have timeouts. There's no way for you to stop the clock. Why is that the call?
Well,
I think that's a hard question.
I don't know why he made the call. Honestly, I would have never made that call. And if my OC wouldn't have made that call because he wouldn't have been he'd have been kiffined. Okay, he wouldn't have been on the bus back. He'd have had to ride Uber back or Lyft back wherever we were at. But it's just, I don't know.
Is there anything that you could think of that would make some sort of sense? Like, because it's just as a fan, it doesn't. It's something
that makes a lot of sense.
What is that?
We're drunk and we're trying to get the first pick.
Y'all saw the video of that college player knock out his coordinator, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean you gotta what they Owen what?
They're Owen November 12th.
Pete Carroll, that's when you throw the ball.
Honestly, I don't know what he's thinking. It could be okay. Let's get this number 1 draft pick again. You know, like their season is it's done. When you think about it, they're not playing for the playoffs.
I would hate to think that at that moment, especially and they've had a few games like this where they're playing well. It looks like they could win. We're texting each other like, such and such is in trouble. Cleveland might get the win. And then to do something like that, it's just it does seem inexplicable. One final question we have, everyone saw, it was the Sunday night football game. Dallas Cowboys, or no, not Sunday night. It was the late afternoon game. Dallas Cowboys, Atlanta Falcons. Poor Chaz Green. He was filling in for Tyron Smith. Adrian Claiborne is going to get a new contract.
No, the incentives. He made $600,000 on that game.
No, he didn't.
Oh, wow.
On that game.
He made $600,000 off of Chaz Green because Chaz Green.
Did he?
Yeah.
Yes, and Brooks Reed ate too. We hadn't heard from Brooks Reed since he was a linebacker at Arizona, and he got a couple of sacks. So the obvious question is, normally in a situation where you have one of your tackles that's in trouble, you help him out with a chip. And you can explain what a chip is, Coach. What's a chip?
Well, a chip is when you let the guy go by and you just give him a quick bump to throw him off his
And who's the player that's usually going to do that? Usually your running back, your
running back.
Backfield. So why wasn't there any help given to Chaz Green? What could have been? What could be the thought process behind not giving out help to your left tackle, which is the most important position on offense? What could have been the thought process there?
He just wasn't ready. Chaz Green.
Okay, so you see he's not ready. So then why not? That's what I'm saying. Why not then have a chip? Help him out. Create some sort of help. I mean, they pulled him in the second half. After halftime, they pulled him out. Byron Bell, I believe, was who they brought in.
Well, you gave her what, 5-6 sacks?
Yeah.
To one guy.
5-6. I mean, he just got used and abused out there. He got raped.
So you just continue to leave him out there?
He's your guy. He's been your guy. He's been your number, 2 the whole time? He's been there for 3-4 years?
I mean, you got to put
I know it sounds, you got to put him in the game and you got to see what he's doing.
So are you saying more like you've seen him not do this before, so you think he's going to correct it?
Yeah.
And then once you realize he doesn't, it's too late.
After
and you
3
pull
sacks,
him.
though,
You're not making an adjustment?
Yeah.
They did make an adjustment.
They switched it out.
But at that point in time, their defensive line was rolling that game. Mm-hmm. The pressure was on. The whole Dallas offensive line was just horrible. Mm-hmm. You know, he said it himself. When a grown man is in an interview and they ask him what did he think went wrong, and he tells you, I have to go back to my basics. Not we. He knows he effed up. He knows he didn't. He talked about his techniques. He talked about his inside footsteps. You know, he talked about his pass pro blocking. You know, this guy just wasn't ready. He wasn't ready to be tossed in the fire. He thought he was. And then the game started.
And so, as a coach, you're okay if you see that happening. You're okay with leaving him out there in that scenario, or not. Again, I guess the obvious. Why not have a chip? Why not
bring another tight end on the side? Why not bring it back to his side?
Yes,
and help out?
Yes.
Because we got to play football. We got to run. This is NFL.
What is? Explain.
This is the NFL. We have a scheme. They have a scheme. They plan. They expected. And guess what? In practice, all that shit worked.
Okay. And
then in the game, it didn't work because he didn't have a dude coming across him. He didn't have the pressure. You understand what I'm saying?
Yep.
So it's you get in that situation where you're in a quarter, 2 quarters, and you're like, damn. All right, we got to go. We got to pull him. We got to go with somebody else because he's not getting it done. Players get in that slump. I've been in that slump as a player. You know, I've been in it where.
I guess the question is, why not try and adjust it instead of just wait until it's too late? Why not try and adjust it?
What did they do to adjust it?
Nothing. That's the point.
They brung another play. That's the NFL. What adjustment are you gonna make?
A chip. Like, give him some help.
Some Doritos. Some Fritos.
With who?
Some Sun Chips. I don't know.
With Alfred?
I understand, but I think what you're saying though is that they built a game plan to go against this particular defense, and that's what they've practiced. And so there are some weeks where if the game plan doesn't work because there's a faulty player, you're basically taking that L or hoping that there's some other miracle that happens.
Yes, he has this week to correct it in practice. He has time to work on it. They just took the L that day. Now, when you talk about the run blocking, he did well on the run blocking schemes.
Right.
It was just pass blocking, and that goes back to what we talked about behind the chains. You know, they're trying to pass the ball first down or second down. They get a sack here, they get a sack there. Now it's 2nd and 15. It's 3rd and 16. Now he has to pass block again, and then he gets used and abused again. So it's one of the things, like, we can't run our game plan because this guy's in here, but we can't adjust to help him out because now we're taking away from what we're trying to do.
Makes sense. Let's get to our Brexit Bootbag winner, Redo.
Oh, man. So we have a 3-time felon repeat offender this week.
My guy.
Man. The Brexit Bootbag Award winner this week is Vontaze Burfict. Or is it Taze?
Vontaze
Burfict. Really, if this was the real world, he'd be a 3-striker. Because I don't think he can control himself.
No, he can't.
In this case, as he's getting up after a play, apparently, because we couldn't find video of it, but apparently he's stomping on the arm of Tennessee Titans center Brian Schwenke. Schwenke's teammate, right tackle Jack Conklin, he comes over, pushes Burfict off his teammate because he's stomping on his arm, but Burfict reacted. The ref sees what happens. He gets in front of him. He puts his hand on Burfict. This is why we need to check Burfict for CTE, because instead of not just putting his hand on the ref, he does a swim move. Like, he gets him off like he was a defender.
Yeah.
Like he was still playing in the play, but he made contact with the ref. So, and this wasn't even his first infraction in the game.
No, it was the third. It was the third in a series of 3.
So you stomp on a player's arm. You're intentionally trying to hurt someone. You get into it with the opposing player, and then you do a swim move on the ref like the play is still going and the whistle didn't happen. So at that point, you need to go. And when you are as talented as he is, when you get ejected out the game, it affects your team. And for a team that is behind the 8 ball like Cincinnati Bengals, you cannot afford to get ejected. And for that, Vontaze Burfict is the Brexit Bootbag Award winner.
Hey, my question is What did Swinky do to him?
Nothing. We know nothing.
The ref didn't do anything either. He still got a swim moves.
Somebody
sound
did
like his
something to him.
teammate.
We backers stick up for each other. I used to have dreads just like that guy.
Oh my God.
Hey,
You weren't contacting the ref, were you, though?
you know what? I've done a lot of dirty stuff I can't even talk about.
We know. So let's keep it going with the football team and our hot topics. Let's start first in Buffalo, where it's interesting. Okay, so Buffalo is in legit playoff contention. They've been a solid second place team. There was a point there where we thought maybe they might even contend for the division, and then out of nowhere, Coach Sean McDermott says we're making a quarterback change, and he sits down Tyrod Taylor, who is no world beater. He's not a Tom Brady, but he's effective and sufficient for the cause. They're going to sit him down, and they're starting I believe, 6th round pick.
Was he a 6th-round pick?
I believe so. Nathan Peterman out of Pittsburgh.
The next Tom Brady.
And that's what they're hoping for. So my question to you is, Kevin, what the hell is going on in Buffalo?
It hurts to say this because I'm a big Tyrod fan. He was the one of the best backup quarterbacks I've ever watched ride the bench in his time here in Baltimore. But I think it was necessary. Only because if you watch their games, granted the Bills are a lot better than we thought they would be, but when Tyrod was in the pocket, forced to make plays from the pocket, he flat out missed throws downfield. I know he brings a dynamic of making plays with his legs, but I think knowing that they're in a position of losing their wild card standing, or at least competing for wild card spot, bringing in this guy whose name I did not know until you just said it, I feel like that brings an element of the unknown to the field on Sunday, and you don't know what the game plan for. So maybe that's the jolt that they need to keep pace, but we all knew Tyrod's ceiling was at some point, and they guess he reached it.
I think the thing is if they were 3-7, 4-6, 2-8, I think it makes sense to us. But they're in the thick of the playoff chase, Coach Joe.
In the playoff.
They're in the playoff as of today. They're 5-4. Not a bad call, but is it the right time to make that call?
No.
Okay.
You stick with what you have. You pulled them for that game, but like Kevin said, to answer to what you said, Kevin, they don't have enough film to scout this quarterback, so they're hoping that the guy comes in. I've never heard of the guy at all.
Well, we know the optics look bad because in today's climate, the way everything is either on the right or the left, the optics are bad because you are a winning football team, but let's just give the benefit of the doubt and say this coach, this team is watching Mr. 6th-round pick every day in practice, and they're watching Tyrod Taylor, and they're saying, we actually got a shot if we bench Tyrod and put in
Nathan Peterman.
From Pittsburgh.
Yeah. Now, granted, when he came in last week's game, I think he was 7 of 7. He led them to their only 2 touchdown drives that they had in that game against the Saints. It remains to be seen.
Yeah, I got to see film on this.
Sticking with quarterbacks, though.
7 of 7 is 7 of 7, regardless of what anybody says.
No,
so if
it's
he's
not.
Not if the other team is up 45-0.
7 of 7 is not 7 on 7.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Change it.
You could be
dump 7-6. You could be. It's still 7-7.
What does that
still
mean?
completed the ball.
It is a difference in the NFL because can you throw if you're doing 7 on 7 and 50 to 60 yards down, or you throwing it to the 5-yard back?
He still completed the ball, right?
It's not. It's a difference.
Tyrod wasn't 7 of 7.
Yeah, but he probably had a 60, 70 yards running.
The only person happier than Joe to be back is Omar, so that he can have somebody to argue with. We're going to stick with quarterbacks and go over to Minnesota. Now, Mike Zimmer's already come out and said that he's going to stick with Case Keenum. I feel like, though, and I want to change the question a little bit, because if we had done our show on our regular night, it would have been one question. We have a little bit of a different question here, and that is, he came out, he said Zimmer said Case Keenum for this week is a starting quarterback. To me, it makes sense. you should rock with Keenum all the way through. He's been the best quarterback you've had. His numbers are outstanding. Case Keenum is third in QBR behind Deshaun Watson and Dak Prescott, just ahead of Carson Wentz and Tom Brady in terms of QBR. He doesn't turn the ball over. He doesn't take sacks. He's behind the same offensive line that Sam Bradford was behind, and Bradford was getting sacked 10% of the time. Case Keenum doesn't get sacked hardly 1% of the time. My question, though, to you guys is Zimmer doing his team a disservice by making this a week-to-week thing, or should he just come out and say Case Keenum is the man until further notice, even though Teddy Tears Bridgewater is back in the fold? I'll start with you, Junior Blue.
He should come out and say Case Keenum is a quarterback. Bridgewater hasn't played in, 600 days? Think about that. He has not played in almost 2 years.
Yeah.
I mean, come on now. I'm happy he's back. I'm happy he made it back, but nah. You got to roll with Case.
Week to week, or should he just come out and say Case Keenum is the man, Coach Joe?
I'm going to say week to week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because?
Fucking hate agreeing with Joe.
The reason why I'm going to say week to week is because if I have my guy that I was going with 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, and he's back and he's healthy and he's showing in practice, because they just don't come back and say, hey, no, for 2-3 weeks he's in practice, he's running, he's throwing, and they see it. I need to make sure that he's good, and I just don't say, hey, I'm giving you the keys, Case. And, did I say it right?
Case Keenum.
And you run the car for the rest of the season, because guess what? He goes down, then what?
But aren't you worried about the rust?
It's Case Keenum.
He's
I get it. He's playing good.
Yeah.
But he's playing above his pay grade. Like
He's a backup.
If somebody told you at the beginning of the season that Case Keenum would be number 3 in QBR, you would say, get the fuck out of here with that bullshit. There's no way in the world you would have been like, nah, he's going to be the man. He's going to keep the job over Teddy Bridgewater if Teddy is healthy.
But Teddy hasn't played in 2 years.
No, all I'm saying is I don't believe the coach believes in him yet to the point where he's like, nah, he's my guy forever. No, I think he feels like he needs to be, he's trying to motivate him, and I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt that he has a handle on this team better than anybody else.
But Kevin, doesn't momentum mean something, number one, and then number two, don't you want to mitigate any sort of outside distractions, and the fact that you keep making this week to week, that's exactly what you're inviting?
Correct. And that's why I agree with Les. I think you come out and you say flat out, Case is my guy. But there's no way
Can't have
he
the
means
but.
it. There's no way he means it.
Exactly. And I agree with that,
before the
Kevin.
butt is bullshit.
You can't have the but.
But
if you just say,
Hold on, Joe. Let me finish.
at some point, their season's going to come down to a game in late December, early January, where, as we've seen time and time again, the quarterback has to make plays to win the game. And at some point, Case Keenum is going to reach that ceiling, or it's going to come to a point where they need the ball in his hands to win the game, and he can't get it done. Whether or not Teddy Bridgewater is healthy enough to come in and step in, I don't know. But we also know this whole Case Keenum love story is going to end bad for them. And at some point, if they want to go as far as everyone's predicting, they're going to have to make the switch.
But that's why I said giving him the benefit of the doubt that he knows what this team needs more than we do, and Case Keenum needs that extra motivation. That's what he feels. He needs that for Case Keenum to keep playing above his pay grade.
Finally, with Hot Topics, Football T, Jerry Jones versus Roger Goodell. Now, there are so many different elements to this story. The crux of it is Jerry Jones is saying that the compensation package, that first of all 32 NFL owners agreed that there would be a compensation committee, a group of 6 owners that would decide, they would vote, and they would decide on whatever the package is for Roger Goodell, because his contract is coming up for renewal in 2018. They would be the decision makers. Jerry Jones was an ad hoc member, which I don't even know what that means.
Which means he talked his way onto it, and they made him happy by letting him sit in.
And based on his role as an ad hoc member, didn't like what was being negotiated. At the same time, while that was happening, his number one horse, his number one hog, Ezekiel Elliott, has been dealing with a domestic violence dispute with the NFL, and we know about all of the sort of litigations and relitigations and back and forth and suspension, non-suspension. It looks like Ezekiel's just going to stop contesting and he's going to sit out and take the protest. So we've got that specter over here. Now all of a sudden Jerry is saying, no. I want to take my ball and go home. This compensation package I don't agree with, and we need to have all the owners to look at it. So he wants to now change the rules, have all the owners to look at it. And then another sort of outside thing is it was reported, I guess, this week that part of what Roger Goodell is asking for is he wants a private jet for life, he wants lifetime health insurance, and he wants $50 million a year.
Not mad at him.
And Jerry Jones
or
no.
That's
Roger. This is what Roger Goodell has been asking for. So we got all of these ingredients in this monster stew. How do we see this playing off for both Goodell and for Jerry Jones? Because we've got whispers of maybe the Cowboys being taken away from Jerry Jones because of conduct detrimental to the league. He got sent a cease and desist letter from the NFL basically saying, shut up, because you're steamrolling the process. And then finally today, I guess, they said that they are going to have a meeting with all of the owners to review specifically what the compensation package is. How do we see this shaking up for both Goodell and Jerry Jones?
Well, Goodell's going to get what he's supposed to get because he is good, regardless of how much people hate him. He's good at his goddamn job. And when I say good at his job, he's putting money in the owner's pockets. The only reason why Jerry Jones is making this fuss is because of the Ezekiel Elliott situation, which I understand. But you know what? You agreed to the 6-man, what do you call that?
suspension.
Committee.
The committee.
Yeah, the compensation committee.
So now you don't agree to it. You can't go back on that.
Right.
So in the end, when you know he crossed the line, when they're talking about taking your team away from you, because he knows there's nothing he can do about that because he signed every last one of them papers.
Kev.
And yeah, I have to admit, it's hard for me to come to the defense of Jerry Jones, but in this instance, I agree with him. He's being a troll, but I think he's doing what any capitalist would do in a situation where, okay, you suspend my dude, but we're also not just going to give you the keys to the city and let you roll with this. With the way all these controversies are coming up around the NFL. I mean, it's like every week it's somebody's protesting or people are backing out or it's just a black eye for the league. So he's like, before we give you everything you asking for, we're going to make this a little difficult for you, especially with the way the league has been suffering this year.
Can I ask you a question, Kev? If you agree to something, the way things are supposed to run as an organization, is it right for you to now say, nah, I don't want to do that because you couldn't get your way with one of your players? Like Jerry...
Omar, he's an old, rich white man in America. I don't think the rules... He's going to do what he want to do.
Hey, Kev. Touche, motherfucker.
And on that note, let's get to our get the fuck out of here with that bullshit. Kev, who's our winner for this award?
Oh, man, I feel so bad doing this because me and Omar just had a moment. And we don't have many of those. But he also had a chance to present this award, and he passed. So our get the fuck out of here with that bullshit award goes to Omar's head coach, Mr. John Fox, who last Sunday his team was down 10-3. When Benny Cunningham caught a pass, ran down to the 2-yard line, and attempted to dive into the end zone. The refs didn't grant him the touchdown. They ruled him down at the 2-yard line, which, okay, just 6 feet. Punch it in, we get the touchdown. But nah, not old Johnny boy. He decided to pull out the red flag and challenge to have them review the play.
Somebody told him to.
After review, replay determined that Cunningham, when diving for the end zone, as we mentioned earlier in the show, he actually fumbled the ball into the pylon. So the refs ruled it a touchback, awarded the ball to Green Bay, who that touchdown probably would have tied the game. And, of course, the Bears went on to lose.
By how many points?
Was it by 7? I don't know.
Yeah, it was by 7 points.
Was it 7? Okay. So, no guarantee they were going to win, but come on, Omar, it's the Bears. So, in this instance, I feel like, hey, he keeps the challenge flag in his pocket. We live on to see another day, but he didn't. And that's why, Mr. John Fox, you need to get the fuck out of here with that bullshit.
Yep. Now, what you got to say about that, Omar? Speak on it.
I wholeheartedly disagree. With two things. One, Pat Shurmur is probably going to be my coach next year, not John Fox. 2, the reason why I say I disagree is because it was bang bang. It wasn't his fault. It was the motherfucker in that booth who should have said, no, you should not throw the flag.
Who put that man in charge?
Get out of here with that. You put a man in charge to do his job, and he didn't do his job. Now, as a coach, his players are in his ear saying, nah, that's a touchdown. You throw that flag. And we are in a position where we're playing Green Bay Packers, and I'm coaching for my life, because if I lose to the Packers without Aaron Rodgers and Brett Hundley, who holds on the ball for 5 minutes before he tries to throw it, and we lose this game, then I am out of a coaching job. So I am coaching for my life.
So just punch it in then.
I understand. But
Because they're going to run on first down anyway.
Yeah, because they're going to run on first and second down.
But you are also trusting the people in your ear, and I'm assuming someone said, no, you need to throw the flag. That's all I'm saying.
Somebody was in his ear, and someone told him, because when you watch
whoever that was needs to get fired.
When you watch the expression, when he see them say, and it's a touchback, he's like,
he wants to throw up.
like, why did I listen to him?
All right, let's get out of here with our Week 11 fantasy and game picks. Let's start with the Los Angeles Rams going against the Minnesota Vikings. We talked about earlier, this is the start of a mean stretch for the Rams. We're going to see what it is. Kevo, who you got? Rams, Vikings, at the Vikings.
Case Keenum going up against his old team. Give me the LA Rams.
Mm-hmm. Redo.
I'm taking the road teams the whole way. It's the Rams on the road.
I'm with you with the Rams as well. They've got more talent on the offensive side of the ball. Coach Joe, who'd you pick?
I picked the Rams on the paper, but I don't.
Ladies and gentlemen, Coach Joe is back. Junior Blue?
I have the Vikings.
Okay. Next game, we've got the New England Patriots versus the Oakland Raiders. Again, part of the NFL International Series in Mexico. We already know who Junior Blue is picking.
Turn that.
Is everyone else in here on the Patriots, or was there someone else on the Raiders?
No, I am because the spirit of the Mexican people is with the Raiders.
We're in Mexico, baby. We're in Mexico.
Raiders?
The game is in Mexico.
Yep.
Yeah.
Kev, you picked the Raiders as well?
I picked the Raiders too.
Can you give me a non-controversial reason why? Non-controversial.
No.
Is this a Raider home team?
Yeah, it's a home game.
A home game? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. I got the Patriots because the Raiders D sucks. Sorry, Les.
Okay.
Finally, Philadelphia
know.
Eagles versus the Dallas Cowboys. Coach Joe, Philadelphia Eagles, Dallas Cowboys, NFC East Classic Battle.
I'm going with Dallas.
Wow. Okay. Why?
Why am I going with Dallas?
Tyron Smith is not coming back. So now you've
Tyron
got
Smith.
the left tackle.
You didn't want to chip for.
That you don't want to chip for. So Chaz Green is coming back. And you've got Vinny Curry, Fletcher Cox, Brandon Graham,
Stay with your
Derek
pick, baby.
Barnett.
No, I'm staying with Dallas.
Because?
It's a home game, right?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Anybody else picking the Cowboys?
I am on the road with Philly.
Oh, my. Yeah, Philadelphia. Philadelphia?
Philly.
All right. Fantasy recommendations when we get out of here. Junior Blue, who you got?
Derek Carr, Crabtree,
Hey.
and Kareem Hunt.
Okay. Coach Joe.
My flex is gonna be K Hunt.
Mm-hmm.
My receiver is gonna be Sanders Emmanuel,
Okay.
and my quarterback is gonna be Kaepernick.
Redo.
Drew Brees.
Yes.
Drew
hear
Brees.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Oh shit.
See, this is what happens when you run red lights. You miss details. Did you say Kaepernick's your quarterback?
Yes, he is.
Okay.
What team? GQ
Team
magazine?
Justice League. Justice League.
So I'm gonna start over.
Redo, please.
Drew Brees.
Yes.
Fournette versus. Oh, he's out. Shit.
Okay, he's missing. Kevin.
Okay, wait. And my wide receivers Adam Thielen.
Okay, Kevin.
Les,
He wasn't out Tuesday.
Derek Carr against the Patriots. I got Kareem Hunt against the Giants. And the flex is the entire Jaguars defense against the Cleveland Browns.
I got Tom Brady, Jarvis Landry, Julio Jones going against that secondary in Seattle that doesn't have Richard Sherman. This has been 32 Kings Road, hosted by the League Ambassadors. Once again, please follow us everywhere on social media. Our handle is @TheLeagueAM. We want to give a special thanks to Coach Joe for coming in.
Yeah.
That was really a great segment.
And don't forget to shout out
Off-season.
Jacopo.
Yeah, follow us Follow us everywhere on social media at theleagueam.com. Visit our website, leagueambassadors.com, or leagueam.com, actually. Our YouTube channel is League Ambassadors. We will see you next week. Cheerio.
I love y'all.
7 names, no games as I run it down the line. We got Kenny Ken put 100 on the T's with the streak for the cash. ESPN. Steph Curry with the shot. In reality, he's more like Seth, but he's all we got. Up next is Gentleman Jack, better known as Junior Blue. We told him not to do it anyway, but he did what he do. To his right is Devin, that dude, L Dad or Dirt Ass Dan. Don't ask him a question, cause then he'll answer your question with another question, and then he'll add another question on top of that question. Damn. And I'm Red O, the Buck Wild Problem Child.
Flow Butter, aka John Cutter.
It's the League Ambassadors, and we playing to win at the 2-yard line. And make no mistake, we running it in.